that weird.
Ooh, that's a hot mug, guy.
Hey guys, this is my review for Midsommar. This was a movie, admittedly, I was quite hesitant to see. I enjoyed Ari Aster's work with Hereditary for the most part. I enjoyed his attention to detail. I enjoyed his depiction of grief, as well as Toni Colletta's performance in that movie was absolutely phenomenal. I liked how the story played out. I enjoyed how everything was set up until the last 20 minutes, where it all goes crazy ass bananas. You want to know something? This movie does the exact same thing. However, there's one major difference. This movie begins as crazy bananas almost right off the bat. Then it goes into super bananas mode. This film follows a girl named Danny who is dealing with the grief of a loss in her life, and she feels that with her boyfriend and their friends that a way to kind of deal with that grief is to go to Sweden to see this event that one of their Swedish friends is. It's a midsummer thing. It's an old community who follows sort of old pagan ideals. She gets to witness these ceremonies and these custom practices and whatnot. And the film, once again, like Hereditary, is a slow burn, but you are so fixated and interested in what this group is and what they do and how they work as a community that you are being pulled in every second that you see something new. And I'll give that film that I was very intrigued as the film was progressing and as stuff was starting to get a little weirder and more weirder and more weirder. It was pulling me in until a point, and literally it's like Hereditary to a T. Speaking of that movie, if you didn't like Hereditary, you really won't like this movie. This isn't a horror movie. This is definitely a case of A24 once again kind of giving a misleading trailer of a film. This is a art house thriller. This is a art house psychology film, a psychological film. I wouldn't even say it's got horror elements in it almost. It has horrifying imagery at times, but in terms of a boo scare, this is not like those movies at all. Not a single bit. It is an enjoyable movie. It just depends on how much you can take, how much you're willing to sort of deal and sit through this and to see what comes out of the end. And again, if you're not a fan of art house movies, you will not enjoy this movie. I enjoy some art house films. I don't enjoy others. I kind of enjoy this one, but I also don't like this one at the same time. And that is once again with the last 20 minutes where it just goes fucking ape shit. And oddly enough, almost the exact same imagery of that of Hereditary, to the point where people were laughing in confusion. And I think that's something that Ari's going for in this movie. He is trying to one-up himself in terms of absolute crazy. In terms of performances, though, main girl who plays Danny gives a pretty good performance. Tootie from The Good Place is still trying to write his thesis. They got eyebrows here. He's being a douchebag. He's got a vape. And then there's her boyfriend who he kind of goes back and forth. He sometimes is an okay actor, and then there's some really fucking bad line reads. It's pretty horrible. When it came to making this movie, Ari had a choice. He either had to go with a bunch of good actors, but pay more money, ergo not get the artistic vision that he was able and wanting to achieve with this film, or go with less big actors, which is why you almost have no idea who any of the actors are except for eyebrows and Tootie. Focus on the visual aspect, and there's a lot of different visual aspects to this film. There's a lot of different visual imagery, not just in terms of how the film is shot, which by the way, it's shot really fucking well. Again, great pan shots, great tracking shots, but the artistic aspect, set deck went to absolute town. There are these paintings and these sort of storyboards all along these buildings and whatnot, not just with the walls, but also with fabrics and blankets, and they all mean something. They all connect within the story. There's a lot of art in this, and that's something that people may like. It's like if Terrence Malick tried to write a horror movie, but it wasn't a horror movie. It was a Terrence Malick pretty show. That's almost what this movie is. Like, even the horrific imagery can sometimes be beautiful, which is pretty interesting. However, I would not be anywhere near as interested in watching this again. I would definitely be interested to watch the director's commentary just to find out what this fucked up dude was smoking when he made this movie, because I no longer have the intrigue of finding out what's happening, what everything means, and how the story's going to progress. I'm literally waiting for the last 30 minutes, because that is when someone who already knows what's going to happen would find it interesting. Visually, yeah, sure, you could watch it again for that, but I don't watch a movie just for pretty pictures. I'm not a Terrence Malick fan. So in the end, I think Midsommar is definitely something you should see if you are into these kind of movies. It definitely has a place for those who like art house films, whether they be psychological insights, thrillers, horror. It's all kind of a weird-ass blend. I do appreciate the director of this film giving something different, going away from the norm that horror movies are now, especially considering the Conjuring universe has basically turned its own universe into a giant pile of garbage. Would I enjoy watching this movie again? No, I'd rather watch Hereditary, to be honest. So in the end, I'm going to give Midsommar a 4 out of 7. I know that there's some people who are probably going to be about that, and honestly, it's just because I enjoyed it. I think it was cool, but I would not watch this again. And again, the ending is just so goddamn crazy. There is a fade cut that makes no fucking sense in the final 10 minutes, and it just happens, and that is when really everyone started laughing in the theater. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, leave a like, and if you're interested in more, maybe subscribe. Otherwise, don't eat a lot of mushrooms. This movie apparently says that eating mushrooms, at least a lot of weird Swedish ones, is going to lead to a bad time.
Thanks for watching the video. It's been a while, but I'm happy to say the Clique is finally getting back together in an all-new movie, thanks to a successful Kickstarter campaign. But we are still asking for your support.
You know, Nitz, you can't get more money unless you offer questionable favors.
Yeah, guy. Unless, of course, those favors involve the ladies, guy.
By support, I mean getting the word out, guys.
Oh, well, couldn't you find a better means than this guy? All he seems to talk about is supernatural, or hold a coffee mug real awkward. Why didn't you ask a Kardashian or something?
Yeah, guy. Get in with the ladies, guy.
Hey, he's trying to help out.
Like you've been trying with Kimmy Burton? I've seen Jabba the Hutt finish a marathon faster.
Yeah, guy. You're a massive slug thing, guy.
To see any and all updates about the upcoming Undergrads movie, be sure to check out and like the Bring Back Undergrads Facebook page. And with any luck, we'll see you guys soon.